Sunday, fun day. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
The all-weather event expo. Big wheels, big trucks. Smashing.
You guys remember those? I mean, some of us do, right? Some of us had a cool childhood growing up. Got to hear stuff like that. You know, the town where I live, they actually do one of those things where they have the big monster, the monster trucks. But I mean, that used to be like, you'd hear that advertised like all the time. Now it's like once a year. Once a year, they turn the rednecks loose and let them do their thing. Some people, you get out to their town, they're like, this is just a regular Saturday. You know what I mean? Kind of like how I mowed the grass today. It's a regular thing for me. On Tinder the other day, somebody asked me, first off, they complimented my photos, and then they said, so are you going to be wearing your bikini top around this summer? And my reply to that was, no, because the neighbors would probably call the cops on me. Which I've still never received my FOIA request. I got to go down to the courthouse or something and figure out what's going on with that. I mean, I submitted that in November of 2025. Yeah. Gotta love bureaucracy. Right? So no, I'm not running around the yard in my bikini top, even though I could on my own property, because some of my neighbors are little scoundrels and they would call in a wellness check or something. And the thing is, they don't even tell you who's calling on your alleged behalf. It's like, how do you know this person doesn't actually hate me? How do you know this person isn't trying to get me in trouble? Like, why? You know what I mean? It's like, well, I don't understand the, that needs a little Six Sigma, if you want to hear my 2 cents on it. But, that would make too much logical sense to some people. Kind of like when they called on my dogs. And I asked them, I recorded the whole thing. And I asked them, I'm like, who called you? Who told you to come here? And she's like, I can't divulge that information. But you can accuse me, but you can't divulge who's accusing me? That sounds like I'm being put on trial and not able to defend myself properly. You know what I mean? It's like, because who's the accuser? The accuser who lives next, down the street that doesn't like you? Because, you drive this car, or you have a dog and they don't, or maybe they're maybe they're a single mom and they're pissed about it. Who the hell knows? Do you know what I mean? People will be petty for all sorts of little kinds of things, even after you've been nice to them. I mean, there's people on my street that I've shoveled them out of the snow before. Helped them get into their driveway. Yeah. What was the thanks I got out of that? Calls to the police on me, allegedly on my behalf? You know what I mean? It's just kind of weird. People are weird. I don't know how else to say it. But, I've tried not to have to involve lawyers, because all this stuff should be, free public information. But, the fact that the county still hasn't given me my report yet, I'm going to have to contact somebody, and hopefully I don't have to get lawyers involved, because that would just it would be silly. For something that should just be click and print a button. You know what I mean? So, anyway. Hermit card, Virgo. Some of you are like, that's why I keep to myself. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And some people, they don't like it when you keep to yourself either. Then they want to come and provoke you. Like a little kid coming up and, ringing your doorbell and running away. That's what some of these people are like. Except they're doing things that aren't just ringing the doorbell. They're trying to get you arrested. They're trying to plant evidence on your property. They're slandering and libeling you in public places, right? And slander and libeling you, meaning that it's bald-faced lies. right? Just as I was thinking about this the other day. I mean, there's people that I know that play music out this place and this place and this place, and it's like, yeah, but those were also the same people that said I was some that want to allege that people are out of control drinking. They want to allege that people are on all sorts of crazy drugs. They want to allege that they're the biggest Jezebel in town. And it's like, well, you know what? I'm just going to remove myself from that situation so they can't allege that on me anymore. Oh, well, who are we going to allege that on now? You know what I mean? So, oh, but I thought you said, yeah, exactly. Why are we keeping to ourselves, Hermit, Virgo? I mean, Virgo, Virgo, like in a weird negative sense, but hopefully not this bad of a negative sense, reminds me of that lady in, the lady Kathy Bates played in Misery. She's like, little ducky's supposed to do whatever, right? Oh, and James Caan, right? Doesn't put it back when he escapes this woman. He's an author, right? So you might have a story to write about something of this nature, collective, where you've had this period to reflect and understand how these people are acting in inappropriate ways. That if they were caught doing this, if a lawyer actually looked at it, they would say that is inappropriate, that is actually breaking the law, that is illegal. And unfortunately, some of these people think that because, their cousin works at the courthouse, or, their dad served in the military, or, their in-laws own this farm, that they can go around and get away with this stuff forever. Okay? But, the collective, what did Richard Nixon call it? The silent majority. They can only stand it for so long, right? Even the real diehard Trump folks out there, they don't like these gas prices right now. They're not out there shouting his name saying, oh, we love everything he's doing. No. Plus, he's a second-term president. Did you really think he was going to please everybody as a second-term president? That's like classic presidential behavior. People are like, huh? You're shocked now? We've had 250 years collectively in the United States at least to figure this out. Come on now. Some people be like, well, I immigrated okay, well then what was so great about your place? You know what I mean? Or some of these Europeans, well, the European way, well, the Europes used to be ruled by royals. We're supposed to be a meritocracy, over here, where everyone contributes, people are treated fairly and equally, not because the lord and the lady of the whatever region, okay? Like, how lame. That's why I think some of these World Cup Europeans are going to be overstaying their visas, don't you? 7 of Pentacles. All right, so you could be busy working on something, collective. This could be something where as you're doing this, it's like kind of clearing out energy, so it could be very cathartic for you. That's a word that when I was the first time I went to college for my undergrad, while I was going there full-time and living on campus as a full-time student, that was a word that a lot of people like to throw around. I feel like somebody learned it in therapy, and then it was like the whole floor was saying it. You know what I mean? We used to, before things went viral on the internet, right? You know what I mean? We all of a sudden we'd be picking up slang, right? One of the weird but like very popular ones, but we don't say this anymore. We say, oh, it's all good, it's all cash money. Like, what? What are these rural, small town population teenagers talking about? We don't really know. It was just, it was like in a song or something, and it was just like something fun to say. Ace of Wands. Yeah, this is kind of Not just passion, like romantic energy, but more just like fun, entertainment type energy. Collective Leo as well coming up, right? Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. Three of Swords on the bottom. So yeah, I feel like somebody collective sees you kind of like having fun and maybe they're butthurt about it. You know. Eight of Cups. Okay. So if you haven't already, you might have spent, you know, some of this kind of hermity time, you know. Not, and this doesn't have to be stagnant. This could be, you know, like you go on vacation by yourself. You know, there's a lot of Facebook groups out there for solo travelers where you can get tips and stuff. I don't know that I necessarily recommend posting in them because you may not want to be advertising that you're solo traveling, you know, just for safety reasons, right? You know, that's another reason why, you know, I would highly recommend, you know, communicating with somebody so they, in your family, so they know, where you're at, you know, essentially at all times. You know, especially when you're traveling, you know, just so there's no questions about your safety. And, you know, the thing is, if something would happen, you know, information is imperative, right? So, you know, just knowing where you were supposed to be, right, is going to save people who are trying to figure it out time, right? And we all know that, you know, the quicker things are solved, usually the better, right? That doesn't mean that things might not have challenges and there might not be competing viewpoints here with Gemini, Lovers on the bottom. Oh my gosh, look at that, 4 of Wands. Interesting. All right, let's pull a few more here. This is getting good. I don't know what's going on. I think I'll use a different tarot deck though. We'll use my Rider-Waite. Okay. Most of these I actually got on Amazon. I used to have them all linked, but I wasn't getting a lot of clicks from that, so I just took them off of there. But I mean, technically, I used to have a list of every deck. If, you know, one day maybe, you know, or if I ever get an assistant, Queen of Swords, then maybe they can help me organize some of this stuff so that because, you know, I still want to be able to come on here and do readings and stuff with you guys. You know what I mean? So that's just it. It's like you can only do so many things. But so collective, even though maybe you are a hermit or something, or you're going into this hermit energy, you might have some idea or something that it's like, okay, so right now it's in this protected zone. Okay, so you might be asked to kind of put it all out there so people can see what you're working with, right? So then they can say, well, this is how we're going to finish it, right? And get you over the hump of that 7 of Pentacles so you can get back into this more kind of like fun-like energy. So, and I'm not saying that can't be done, you know, away from the crowd, right? But yeah, just consider it. Just consider a possibility, okay? And consider continuing to do what you haven't done before, okay? When I was working my corporate job, you know, you would start to talk to people and they would talk about their different vacations, right? And some people would be like, oh, well, we go here every year, or we go visit our family there, blah, blah, blah. And, some people, they do tend to visit the same places, and especially when you're visiting family and things of that nature, right? But I started thinking, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something new every year, at least for vacation, right? And then sometimes you can put that in your life as well, right? Or, trying something new once a month, once a week. For some people, it might be learning a new word out of the dictionary, anything like that, right? 10 of Wands. Okay. So, yeah, I guess maybe collective, even if you are in Hermit, I feel like you're going to be giving up the need to control here with this 10 of Wands, because Virgo is a very, like, my way. It kind of, they like to have it my way or the highway. They're very rational. I'm not going to say they're irrational, but they can get weird if things don't go their way, right? And it's like, you'll be there sitting there like, what's wrong? And they'll be like, nothing. Okay. It's like, okay, we're going to do this the rest of the night, or are we going to get back to, you know what I mean? Like, Nine of Pentacles. So thank you for the compliments in the chat. I just got my hair trimmed up the other day, so it's feeling fresh, you know what I mean? And I just got done mowing earlier too, so I'm freshly cleaned up from all that. So yeah, Nine of Pentacles, collective. You could just be, enjoying yourself. Like, again, it's the summertime. Like, the days are long, the weather's great. It's like you have this extra time. The sunlight is out there saying, hey, here's your extra time. Spend it reading. Spend it, playing a board game with your kids. Spend it walking your dogs. Spend it, whatever. Spend it watching your favorite binge show or sports channel on TV. Okay? You can even do that outside, right? People have but like use headphones or something, right? People don't want to hear all that all the time. Anyway. Right? That's kind of one of those moves, right? When you're looking around, it's like, we are in the middle of the store, and everyone's got their phone hanging out here, and they got it on volume 8.5, and it's like, what is, you know what I mean? Three of Swords. This is interesting. So, collective, there might be people feeling left out, that they're not assisting you on this journey at this time. So those people may be reaching out to you with that Three of Swords. Okay. And maybe that's something where you wish it could have been different, right? But you're like assessing where it's at now. Okay. Oh my gosh. Card fell on the floor. The Page of Cups with this Ace of Wands here. Okay. So, just remember, as you are having fun, some other things do sometimes happen and can lead to what, right? So, have fun safely, right? So, I guess is the message I want to communicate there. Okay. Oh boy. Here's the, I should have clipped this or something earlier. You know what I mean? Anyway. The other day when I left the salon, it looked so cute, and then I thought, oh yeah, okay. But, I did finally wash it though. So, I did, I usually that just bothers me so much, but this time I was able to wait at least like a day and a half before, you know what I mean? Just one of those things anyway. But it was looking cute. I was having nice volume on the top, on the top. Okay. All right. Oh, that's the bottom of the deck. Hello. Five of Swords. Okay, collective. So some of this isolation, some of wanting to do things maybe not with the rest of the group could be because, you know, maybe that person lied. Maybe that person led you down the wrong path. Maybe that person has some business partners that you're not so keen to be around. Maybe that person gave you a bad review to, somebody you were trying to network with, and then you lost, your contract or something. Whatever it was. Okay, because there's always possibilities out there, and you never know, right? That's why I just try to tend to wish people well and move on. But, if you are pulling me into your stuff, then I have a right to defend myself, just like the people that want to call, the law on my dogs, alleging that I have more dogs in here than I do. And it was so weird because I had just sent the tag off. You know what I mean? It's like they had the tag. That's why I was like, you guys have the tag and everything. You're the ones that issued me the the license to have a dog. You know what I mean? Anyway, I guess the state and local municipalities have to make their money somehow, right? I swear. Anyway. So yeah. Again, libel and slander where it's like this isn't even remotely true. So you may be having like a hard shift here of reassessment where it's like before you get into bed, that's a term in business, right? Who they're in bed with. Before you get into bed with certain business partners, it's like, oh, well, do you know their connection and their angle and, things of that nature, right? Oh my God. Is this Virgo's reading? Hello. I'm not going to say what I'm thinking right now because that would make this a little bit too much of a personal reading, but I think by holding up these cards, and we know after Cancer season, the crab season is over, then we have Leo, and then that goes right into Virgo. Yeah. Ain't no doubt about it. So, collective, again, as soon as you let control go of these things, this is like what's going to start happening. Okay? It's like this light is going to go from shining, okay? See how it's shining here to where it's like actually emitting a glow. Okay? Cuz you're going to start seeing this as you're building your fairy tale and all this is happening, you're seeing it. It's not just a dream. And yeah, maybe you wish that this person would have seen it or this person could have appreciated it or whatever. And maybe that's because you moved away, you got a different job, maybe they passed away, maybe you're just not on speaking terms anymore. Whatever it is, it caused that kind of ache, right? Where it was like, oh, well, I wish I could share this with that person, but we're not really like that anymore, so, but that's why it's good to kind of put everything out here, collective, and just see and kind of just take a status of where you are. And, this is what you have as your overall energy on the bottom. And again, my gosh, look at that. 8 of Cups. I can't make this up if I try. Understand? I'm not that good of a card shuffler. You know what I mean? I can never do. I tried when I was younger because I saw people playing cards and doing stuff like that. 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups. So, a collective, some of you might feel like this is where you've been for a while. Okay, and you might feel like this is the part that you're not actually seeing, but yes, this is real. Isn't there like a hip hop song called I'm Real? right now I'm thinking of the one where it's the Ashanti and J Rule, when she's like, and when you call and I'm always on time. Da, 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 da. I don't know if that's the name of the song. That I'm real. Anyway, anyway. So yeah. I feel like, collective, you're going to come out of this feeling better, to say the least. Okay? So, you know, sometimes it's like we get into these patterns because so many times these things happen, right? But, you know, you having the proper boundaries here, right, allows you to build up what you need, okay, right, to get back into this kind of energy. Again, Gemini, so Gemini just had their birthdays, right? Happy birthday, Geminis. If you didn't catch some of my earlier readings last month, okay, so which you can find out on the live tab. All right, thank you already to those who have liked the video today. Remember, you do not have to be a subscriber in order to like the video. All right, but you can today, and it's absolutely free, the 100% free way to support the channel. I do have a donation link. However, all readings here on YouTube are free. You pay only with your time, and if you have a premium subscription, right, to YouTube, it has really nothing to do with me. So, you know, you either subscribing or liking the video does help the channel, and it's 100% free to do. So, I don't know, guys. What do you think? Should we wrap up with a little oracle deck, maybe? So, I'm getting a little post full moon vibes. Maybe it's some jitters around. See, this is what it is. Yeah. It's kind of like waiting for the other shoe to drop. Because there's always something you're finding out, right? And it's like, oh, now I got to go over here and act like I'm Grizzly Adams again. Okay, so, you know what I mean? Did you guys ever watch Grizzly Adams? I think he was like an outlaw or something, actually. And I think he was supposed to be a veteran also. It was so long ago watching this. And then the bear's name was Gentle Ben, remember? And then he had his one friend who came by, the older man that came by with his donkey, right? Having his flapjacks or whatever. Anyway, oh my gosh, this is a nice picture. Okay. Give thanks for the blessings of love soon to come your way. Know that you deserve to be and have all that your heart truly desires. So, collective, once you let go of this, right, you'll see the blessings start to come in because you'll have room for them. You'll have room for them. Okay? Okay. That's neat. Okay, transformation. Your relationship with one another is about to deepen. Love conquers and transforms all things. Okay. So yeah, collective, sometimes it's hard to reconcile that feeling of, wow, I was really had both my feet in with that one, right? So, you know, when our love goes misplaced in that way, misguided in that way, right? We have to figure out a way to transform it for ourselves, okay? Again, taking ourselves out of this and looking forward to what we have and what we're going for and what we're building, okay? Life is a series of constantly shifting cycles. When we resist change, we resist the natural flow of life and create unnecessary stress. Go with the flow, and you will be surprised where it leads. Okay, so again, getting back to this fun thing, right? Somebody might like to watch The People's Court or Judge Judy, right? But I'm hearing People's Court theme song, right? Remember, dun 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 dun. Alrighty, let's see here. Emotions are a natural and necessary part of life, but they can also distort your perception and cloud your vision. In order to see things clearly, you must let go of resentment. Man, that's a good one, right? And especially after it's like, yeah, well, I'm resenting that somebody treated me like this. I'm resenting that somebody treated me like that. So you're just like, okay, gotta go and reassess. And yeah, we have to let it go, right? You know, you can't just be stuck on the why it happened and all those things. Sometimes we will never know why people do things, okay? We can make our best guess, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, well, we still have no control over that person, right? That again, those are their activities, not ours. Only time will tell. Okay, so give yourself some time here with the Hermit card. And we have Four of Wands. Close your eyes and tell yourself that you deserve to feel joyful. You can allow joy into your life regardless of the circumstances you currently find yourself in. Okay, so again, if you're still in this Eight of Cups, if you're not ready to come out of this kind of Eight of Hermit cycle, right? That would be like the Eight of Cups, then you know, this is telling yourself, you know, maybe you need some more positive self-talk, affirmations, you know, prayers work as well, right? And then, you know, allow yourself to start feeling some of those good vibes coming towards you, okay? All right. And that's going to be, you know, part of this who's on your page, so to speak. Okay. All right. So we have Gemini here, but again, we had Virgo coming up twice with the Hermit card. We also had the fire signs here with the Ace of Wands, and we also had the Four of Wands, which is quite nice considering we also had the Eight of Cups twice. So that could be maybe somebody's like in almost like a crab type energy a little bit, okay? Whereas collective, you might be more outgoing. You know, by nature, okay? So again, that might be one of these things that where it's like that's for somebody else's, you know, therapy session. You know what I mean? And maybe that person does need to go talk to somebody about it, right? And maybe definitely so if they're making those kind of decisions that, you know, in turn negatively, you know, impact others, okay? So yeah. Again, give thanks for the blessings of love soon to come your way. Know that you deserve to be and have all that your heart truly desires. Okay, so I think this goes with this Four of Wands here. I like how my little roses up here look on the side of my... Anywho, thanks again for those who already liked the video. Remember, you do not have to be a subscriber in order to like the video, okay? You can find most of my videos under the live tab. I do have some shorts available and other things on the community post area. So that is really it for now. All right, so until next time, please do manifest wisely. Bye-bye.